everybody. Today I'm going to talk to you about teaching reading comprehension in a fun, motivating way that's going to engage your students and keep them focused throughout your lesson. If you've never met, my name is Brenda Tejeda, and I've taught grades K to 3 for 16 years, and I also created educational resources. Now, before we get started, I want to mention a couple of things. First of all, I'd love to know who's here watching, so please make sure that you say hi, let me know where you're from, and if you have any comments or questions throughout, please make sure that you write them down. My husband's going to be helping me, and he's going to give me a thumbs up when I have some questions, so I'm going to try to stop periodically and answer those questions, but if I don't get to them live, I promise I'm going to come back afterwards and answer all of them. I also have a great giveaway at the end, and I'm going to randomly select somebody who commented to win something really special. So make sure that you comment and just let me know that you're here. All right, so reading comprehension, of course, is something that teachers strive to achieve for all of our students. We want to make sure that they have excellent reading comprehension. And some of your students might have great comprehension naturally. They might be able to think critically with little or no prompting from you, but many of our students, and most of them, are going to need a lot of help and support in this area. So it's important that we teach these skills explicitly to them. And so I have a couple of tips for you. And I'm not going to go through all of them here because I know as teachers I know as teachers that you're familiar with many of these, but I wanted to show you because I forgot to mention that I also have a great freebie to share with you at the end, and this is part of your freebie. And I don't know about you, but I always have parents asking me what can they do at home to help their students, how can they support the learning that's going on in the classroom. So this is a great resource to share with them, whether it's at parent-teacher conferences or if you have a student that's really struggling with comprehension and you want to give the parents a resource to use at home to help. So this will include 3 sheets. One is things to think about if their child is struggling with comprehension. One is tips, what they can do before, during, and after reading. And one has questions, specific questions that are categorized under the scale that they can ask their children after reading. And that's going to be part of your freebie, but I also have lots more fun stuff for you. So stick around with me till the end so you don't miss out on that. All right, so I'm really excited to share with you a resource that I created to help teach reading comprehension strategies and skills. And you might have noticed these fun little guys here. And the reason I have them is because I also created a resource for teaching decoding strategies. And they use little characters to help the kids remember the skills and strategies that they can do when they get stuck on a word. And the kids love them. They were just a fun visual. They were really effective in helping them remember what they can do when they get stuck on a word. And so I decided to do the same for my comprehension strategies. And here we have main idea moose. We have compare and contrast Cami, sequencing squirrel, and inferring iguana. And there are 4 packs in the bundle that I have. Each one includes so much, and each one has a PowerPoint presentation to introduce the skill with. Now, if you love teaching with PowerPoints as much as I do, you're going to really love this because it's interactive, it's fun, the kids are engaged the whole time, and it's great for you too because it takes the guesswork of how to teach it because it's all laid out for you. So I'm going to go through this PowerPoint to give you an example of what's included. I like to start with this slide. The most important thing about reading is understanding. I know sometimes we have students who barrel through books and they forget to stop and check for understanding, so it's always great to remind them, make sure that you're monitoring yourself. If you're not sure what's going on, stop and use a strategy to fix that. Then I go into the strategy that I'm going to focus on today. So one strategy is compare and contrast. And this is the explicit teaching, when you think about how things are the same and how they are different. Let's learn why it's important. Now, I also like to hook my students because I don't want any of them losing attention after a minute or two. So I like to hook them with something really fun at the beginning of each PowerPoint. And this particular one is going to ask you to line up 5 writing tools, and you'll see why. So it starts first, take out what you used to write with. Okay, I got my pencil, I'm ready to go. No, not your pencil. It comes in different colors. Oh, okay, it's my crayon. No, not a crayon. It's like a crayon, but longer. Can anybody tell me what they think it is? Oh, it must be my colored pencil. It's like a crayon, but it's longer. No, not a colored pencil. It has a cap. Oh my goodness, it's a marker. I got it. This has to be it. No, not that marker is erasable. So finally, you got it. And of course, it's a little bit silly and the kids will probably be giggling, but I promise you they will be paying attention. So after this little hook, then you start comparing and contrasting. How is this marker like a pencil? So I like to have built-in places in my PowerPoint presentation where the kids are encouraged to turn and talk and collaborate with each other, because that's going to be important in practicing the skill. So after you give them a little bit of time to talk to each other and give you some ideas, then some of those ideas are up on the screen. And then how is this marker not like a pencil? Again, give them a little bit of time and you can get some ideas on the board. And so they just participated in comparing and contrasting, probably without even realizing it. So back to the explicit teaching, here's what we just did. We thought about ways that things were similar and how they were different. Let's play a game. So after I hook them, I want to keep them engaged. Here's a fun little game to keep practicing the skill. What's in my mystery box? It's like a car, but it can take you places. Because it can take you places, but it flies in the sky. Oh, it's an airplane. Then I have a few more like this, and have them turn and talk and take guesses, explain why they think it's what it is. And all of those things have similarities and differences. And of course, it's great to compare and contrast pictures and objects, but remember the goal here is to apply that to reading. So I always want to bring it back to stories and to the text. So I have this version of Cinderella story. It starts the same way as Cinderella. So you start with the beginning. Sound familiar? And kids will give you, if they've ever heard of Cinderella, they're going to tell you it's the Cinderella story. But then as you keep reading, there are things that are different. And the PowerPoint is built in to have them turn and talk and share those ideas before you go on. So after they share their ideas, some of those differences pop up on the screen. And then you keep going through the story, turning and talking, keep reading. And it's a silly, funny story, but like I said, kids love silly, so they're really going to be engaged and motivated the whole time. And if you haven't noticed, the little chameleon pops in different places, so that just adds a little extra fun. And then at the end of this one, I like to show a tool that you can use for comparing and contrasting. And this goes through teaching them exactly what a Venn diagram is, how to use it, and then you compare Cinderella to the story that I have here, Dolly. And for this part, sometimes I like to give them a blank Venn diagram, which I have included in the bundle for you too, so they can jot down some ideas, and you can even just write it up on the screen for them. And you also can compare not only two separate stories, but you can compare and contrast within the same story. So here you're going to compare and contrast the Cinderella to one of her stepsisters. And after you give them some time, you can click and some of those ideas will come on the board. Now I like to end my PowerPoint by reminding them of the strategy, the skill that they just learned, and reminding them to use it themselves. So we did it together. You taught them explicitly, they had a chance to collaborate with one another, and now it's time for them to apply it into their reading. So as they go to read independently, they're remembering this fresh in their mind. Remember, compare and contrast, Cami says, when you read, think about how things are similar and different to help you understand. Okay, so I want to show you some practice materials. You have questions? I'm going to show you some practice materials. I'm going to keep going. And like I said, there's so much included here, so we won't have time to cover everything, but just so you get a feel for what's in there. One thing that the packs have are differentiated reading passages. So I love to differentiate for my students. I know it's not always easy to do because we have so much going on, but whenever you can, it's great to differentiate because we all have students at different levels. So this particular reading passage is for making inferences, and the students read the passage, and for this one they color in the picture that goes with the passage. And what I love too is that they have to go back and show evidence by highlighting the clues that help them make that inference. Now the next level up, they read a slightly more difficult story, and here they answer questions, and again showing that evidence by going back and color coding the text to show what helped them make the inference. And then the next level up, they read the story and they have to make their own inferences and illustrate the story. Another way that I love to differentiate is by adding picture supports. And you'll notice that many of my resources have these picture supports because it's such a great and subtle way to differentiate. I love differentiation when they have the same goal and they might not even realize that their work is different because it looks so similar. So here they're completing the Venn diagram by cutting and pasting the words and phrases into the correct space. And here's just a little peek into some of the other materials included. Here's a fun little center game. I have magnifying lenses. This is again for the Making Inferences pack. And I have different magnifying lenses with animals. And there are 2 levels for this too, because I like to differentiate all the games too. One level has 3 simple clues and one level has a short paragraph, and they have to match the case file to the animal that it's describing. So I like to really get into it and give them real magnifying lenses. They feel like they're really detectives making inferences. Here's some more cards and center games. This is a great one for comparing and contrasting. And I also have this differentiated, this version that you see here. The main ideas are on the flower pots, and then the details are in pictures on the flowers. And I also have this with words instead of pictures for that next level up. Here's a fun craft where they match the detail petals to the main idea centers, and then they put it all together. Also in this bundle, I included blank graphic organizers that you can use with any book. And finally, I also have posters, and like I said, I have the characters there. They really are great. The kids love them. But if you choose not to have them, then I also have options available without the characters and bookmarks with and without the characters. Now, if you own the Comprehension Strategy Bundle already, stay with me because this is an exclusive freebie and it's brand new, and I wanted everybody to have somebody new, and I'm really excited to share with you. So like I showed you before, you'll get this. These are the 3 sheets that you can share with parents. And you'll also get these great little task cards. And I made these for each comprehension skill. And they're also differentiated. So this simpler version has a simple picture with a question. What is Sam about to do? And the kids have to make an inference. So I see she's wearing pajamas. She's got slippers on. She's holding a teddy bear. Is she going to sleep, eat, or go to school? Now, I wish I can go to school that way, but I think she's going to sleep. And then the next level up has a short paragraph with a question as well. And one great thing about these task cards is that if you copy them double-sided, you'll have the answer right on the back. So the kids can use them independently, and we know that's always a bonus. Here are the task cards for main idea and details. And these also have 2 versions. So they have a little paragraph, and with one version they have to identify the main idea, and with the next version the main idea is given to them and they just have to identify details. And with all of these, the answers are right on the back, so they can use it during center time or when they have a few extra minutes. Here's the sequencing. There are 3 versions of this one. This one has 3-step pictures, 4-step pictures, and then a short paragraph with a question too. And finally, compare and contrast. A little paragraph, and they compare and they say one similarity and one difference between the 2 objects. And these are great because they have the pictures there, so even if children are having a hard time reading the passage, they can compare and contrast using the pictures. And again, you have some ideas on the back. So I'm excited. That's going to be free for you. And I'm going to post a link as soon as I'm done for that freebie. And tomorrow, it's also going to be included in the bundle and in my TPT store, but just for today, you're going to get it absolutely free. And did I mention that those parent sheets are in English and in Spanish? That's awesome. Okay, so teachers love organization, and so I wanted to keep all of my materials nice and neat, so I also created these binder covers and spines for you to keep all your materials in one place. And in here I have my table of contents, detailed lesson plans for you for how to use the PowerPoint and all the materials in here. I have my posters, and everything is nice and neat in these sheet protectors. And if I have something with pieces like the cards or the center games, then I just like to put a little paper clip at the top so that nothing falls out. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. I'm getting to the giveaway. I just want to mention a couple of things. Don't forget to get your freebie. I'm going to post the link as soon as we're done. The link to the bundle is actually in the description. So these are sold separately, but you save money if you get the bundle. Also, I have a free email newsletter, and I'm going to post a link to that as well. And I send you teaching tips, exclusive resources with freebies, and news about special events coming up. You can find all of this stuff in my TPT store, Brenda Tejeda, and I think it's time for the giveaway. So I'm going to do a good, let's see if I can find this here. All right, let's see. If you haven't commented, make sure that you comment something. So I'm going to pick somebody who commented, and they will win this entire bundle. Okay, let's see. Oh, here we go. I'm going to give it a good Wheel of Fortune spin. And Susan, I know you, so I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to pick another winner. Let's see. Thank you for watching. Lisa Webb Jordan. Lisa Webb Jordan, congratulations. You won this bundle. Please email me at brenda@brendatejeda.com. That's TEJEDA.com. And you can also get to my TP store by just typing in brendatejeda.com. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found some useful tips for your students. I'll see you soon.